Hey there, Neutron Tech crew. Today's episode brings us back to RAMIZ, who's still out there roughing it in the wild. This time around, he's pushed himself into the heart of a rugged, unforgiving forest, where he's planning to construct a long-term shelter using nothing but what nature provides. Right off the bat, one of the smartest moves he makes is setting up a system to collect water. Using wooden branches that he's stripped clean and positioned at regular intervals, RAMIZ creates a simple grid structure over a hollowed-out pit. He then stretches a large plastic tarp overhead, securing it at the edges so it acts like a funnel to catch rainfall. Once the water situation is handled, it's time to gather building materials. RAMIZ heads further into the woods to find long, straight branches, which he cuts down and hauls back to his campsite. The land he's working on sits a bit higher than everything around it, which turns out to be a smart advantage. Using a pickaxe and a long shovel, pretty much his only tools, he starts by cleaning up and leveling the ground. Creating a flat foundation matters because it distributes weight evenly across the structure. There's a really cool moment when RAMIZ walks over to a nearby stream and starts gathering stones from the water. He's clearly choosing smooth river rocks, probably because they hold heat well and have good density. Back at the build site, he starts putting together a framework from those long, uniform branches he collected earlier. He lays them out in a tight grid pattern directly on top of the ground he's prepared. Really, what we're watching here is equal parts survival skills and clever design thinking. One of the coolest examples is this elevated sleeping platform he builds several meters up in the air between trees. Using logs bound together with strong rope and hung securely, to reach his sleeping platform up high, RAMIZ builds himself a ladder using rope and sticks. Nothing fancy, just something he can haul up when night falls. When morning rolls around, he gets serious about the main build, digging his shelter partway into the hillside. Going semi-underground like this is brilliant. The earth acts like a natural thermostat. He heads to the nearby stream and hauls back a collection of rocks. Smooth ones, flat ones, different sizes. Stream stones are perfect for this kind of work since they stack well and can handle serious weight. Here's where it gets interesting. He creates a curved support system using bendy but strong branches. These get planted into the ground at matching intervals and form the backbone of what'll become the roof. He mixes up some clay, tweaking the wetness until it's just right, adding water when it's too crumbly, letting it dry out when it's too soupy. For the doorway and windows, he bends more flexible branches into curved openings and props them up with straight supports. These curves match the shelter's overall shape, which keeps everything stable and prevents weak spots. When the walls top out, it's time to tackle the roof. He lays logs across from wall to wall, creating a framework that bridges the whole space. To finish things off and make the shelter basically invisible, he piles on a thick layer of leaves, moss, and branches from the surrounding woods. The door itself is handmade from straight, slightly flexible branches and young trees. He builds a solid frame using simple joining methods and ties everything together with cord he's made. The windows get the same practical treatment. Using those same grid methods, he lays out the foundation for the chimney that'll sit inside the oven. After that's sorted, the real work begins, constructing the entire oven body from the inside out. Think of this wooden framework as a temporary skeleton that doubles as a shaping tool. Flat stones pulled from the riverbed get placed carefully across this wooden mesh. These aren't just decorative, they're heat batteries that soak up warmth and release it slowly. He stacks them first without any adhesive, relying purely on balance and weight to keep the arch stable. Next comes the weatherproofing stage. He slaps on heavy layers of clay and mud across the most vulnerable outer sections. The door gets its own special treatment. What starts as a simple frame made from tied-together sticks eventually becomes something more substantial. He covers it with a mixture of clay and straw, shaping everything by hand until it's smooth. When it comes to the interior, he's not satisfied with just bare walls. He lines sections with bamboo poles standing upright, which do double duty. String holds these bamboo sections together under tension, each one positioned to match the curve of the ceiling overhead. The tricky part, nothing here follows standard measurements or right angles. What stands out about his entire building process is how deliberately he uses what's around him. It's not about having less, it's about making smart choices with what nature provides. His furniture tells the same story. That table and chair set, made from crooked branches and split logs that he shaped into something both practical and comfortable. The magic happens in the little things that push this build beyond just good enough. That moss tucked around the door and windows, it's doing double duty, blocking cold air while making the whole thing look less like a construction site. Now here's where things get interesting. What looks like he's gathering bedding material is actually the start of an art project. RAMIZ crushes these plants to pull out the chlorophyll, mixes it with stuff from the ground, and boom, homemade green paint. Then he builds something you wouldn't expect, a tiny sauna in the woods. Weird choice? Maybe. Brilliant? Absolutely. Remember that clear plastic he used for the window earlier? Now it's wrapping an insulated hot box. But this isn't just about getting warm or staying clean when it's nasty outside. The sauna becomes something bigger, a way to keep blood moving. The coolest part about what RAMIZ is doing here, he's not just surviving, he's living. Still, he hasn't gone soft on the reality check that nature can be dangerous. Case in point, that little bell by the entrance. It's rigged to a tripwire. Nothing fancy, but when something big wanders too close, that bell rings. What you're watching here is someone who gets that survival isn't a checklist. RAMIZ isn't ticking boxes labeled security or wellness or aesthetics. He's figured out that living in the forest isn't about fighting it, it's about working with it.